all the different techniques of argument and logic which are there in the Upanishad, they were condensed by Gautama or Akshapada in 16 padarthas. He just organized it in 16 padarthas. This we read yesterday in the Nyaya school of philosophy. Now we will discuss Vaiseshika, where just like Nyaya organized the Praman, Vaiseshika will organize the Prameya, the object of knowledge. Of course, the ultimate object of knowledge is Krishna. Vedascha sarvair ahameva vedya, aham eva vedya. Only I am to be known by Vedas. Krishna says that. But of course, there are other objects of knowledge for people who are not that interested or not fortunate enough to go that high. So there are other objects of knowledge. So Vishesha, the word Vishesha means specific or distinct. And Vaiseshika means a philosophy that speaks about distinct things, about the distinction of separate objects of knowledge in this world. This is the meaning of Vaiseshika. So, the founder of Vaiseshika philosophy, his name is Kanada. Just like Gautama for Nyaya, this is Kanada Rishi. He is also known as Kana Bhuj, because Bhuj means one who eats, and Kana means atom. And now you know, Kana Bhuj means what? Kana Bhuj means one who eats atoms. So, then one may think, now what about Gulab Jamun? Well, ISKCON is fortunate to eat Gulab Jamuns. But this Rishi was not that fortunate. He just ended up eating atoms. So, he was also known as Auluka, because Uluka, in Sanskrit, Uluka means, my English pronunciation is not very good. If somebody can help me. No, not now. It's mistake. If I uncover that now, then there will be a nuclear bomb coming out from me. Then everyone will be looking at it, no one will listen to my class. That's why I covered it. You think I didn't know that it is covered? Anyway, so how do you pronounce that? All? Dravida folk kind of. Owl. I am a Ravana worshipper from South India. I don't speak English properly. Owl, right. Owl in Sanskrit is known as Uluka. So this Rishi, this all is nothing but the derivation of Uluka. From Uluka, Sanskrit, it went to Latin. And from Latin, it came in English. Now I can't pronounce it. But Uluka I can pronounce. It's no problem. So this Uluka, in the daytime, Uluka cannot see. In the night time, he can see. So what he does, in the daytime, he would be just hiding somewhere because he gets blind with the sunlight. In the night time, when it is dark, he will come out. And his eyes, very bright at that time, he will start looking for food sometime. In the night, you hear these birds screaming and crying because he's having his big attack. And he's flying from tree to tree and eating the small birds, and they scream in the night. In the Gurukul, we have this experience. And we come out and see this there with his special 16,000 watts brainwashing light. So this is Uluka. And our friend Kanada Rishi, he was known as Auluka because whole day he will meditate on atom. And after whole day's meditation, when it is dark, when everyone sleeps, he will go out and look for food. So he was known as Auluka, means one who has taken to the behavior of Uluka. So he is sleeping in the day or meditating. But people don't know, he's closing his eyes and he's always like this. So they think he's sleeping in the day and looking for food in the night. So he was known as Auluka. Because of that, this philosophy of Vaiseshika is also known as Auluki philosophy. So that much for our friend Kanada. And now for his book. his book is known as Vaisheshika Sutra. All these 6 systems, you just add sutra to the name of the philosophy. That is the name of the book. Nyaya, Nyaya Sutra. Vaisheshika, Vaisheshika Sutra. Sankhya, Sankhya Sutra. Yoga, Yoga Sutra. Karma Mimamsa, Karma Mimamsa Sutra. And then finally we have Vyasadev's Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. So that's how it goes. So now I explained already that Vishesha means particularity or distinction, and Sutra is very short form, 2 lines or 1 line. You explain something and the words should be unpeccable. That means there should be no defect in the conjunction of the syllables of the words of the sutra. These are the qualification of a sutra. And then it will carry a whole lot of meaning, an ocean of meaning, so that sutras cannot be just read and understood. Someone has to write a commentary on the sutra. So for all the sutras we have commentaries. Now there are many commentaries on Vaisheshika Sutra, and the most famous and well accepted by all schools of thought is the commentary known as Padartha Dharma Sangraha. Padartha, Artha means, I explained yesterday, Artha means meaning, Pada means word, and Padartha means meaning of the word. So Padartha Dharma, Dharma means religion, or Dharma means philosophy. There are thousands of meanings for Dharma. At least here Dharma means philosophy. So Padartha Dharma means the philosophy of the meaning of the word or words. Sangraha means collection. So this is the meaning of the commentary. Padartha Dharma Sangraha Bhashya. Bhashya means commentary. This is a commentary by one great sage known as Prashasthapada. Prashasthapada was well known for his grammar knowledge, and later he became a disciple in the line of Vaisheshika, and he wrote this commentary. And it's a well-versed commentary of Vaisheshika. Anyway, since we don't want to become Vaisheshikas, we will leave the commentary at that level. Now we will see what is there in this philosophy. Now we found that in Nyaya, we found the Padarthas, Praman, Prameya, then we went on 16. In the Vaisheshika philosophy, they accept 2 kinds of Pramana, or 2 kinds of evidence, or system of knowledge. These 2 kinds are Pratyaksha and Anumana. In the Nyaya we find they accept 4 kinds. There is Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upamana and Shabda. 4 kinds we take in Nyaya. But in Vaisheshika they take only 2 kinds. And in Pratyaksha they include perception, which is coming through the senses, and also remembrance, which is left after perception. And in Anuman they include also Shabda, because of the reason, when I explain these books, if I say because of the reason, no one should think this is the absolute reason. Now I am speaking, I am a mic for Kannada now. Now I am explaining what Kannada says. Don't misunderstand this. Don't go somewhere and quote Atma Tattva said there are only 2 Pramans. This is not Vedanta I am speaking now. This is mental speculation I am speaking. I am simply explaining what he explained. So I want no profit, no loss from this. And I can give you the address of Kannada also. I gave you the address of Gautama. He is in Spain. Kannada is in Ukraine. So please write to him. And it is not my problem, it is his problem. Anyway, his explanation is that in Anuman, he also puts, Anuman means inference. In inference, he also puts Upaman, which is comparison, and also Shabda, which is word. Because when you read a book, it may be Shabda coming from the Supreme Lord, from the Veda, but you always infer the meanings of the book. So according to him, that whatever you read in the Shabda is also you infer some meaning. This is also there. Like suppose somebody said, say for example, Srila Prabhupada said to one devotee, you should become like Brahmananda. So then this devotee he started eating all the Mahaprasad in the temple so that he can become like Brahmananda. But then, of course, he got sick. So then Srila Prabhupada explained to him, no, I meant you become a big preacher like Brahmananda. Not that you have to become big in size. So this is actually, like we explained yesterday, Hetva Bhasha. Because the Abhas is taken too much and the Hetu is forgotten, the cause is forgotten. The whole idea is to become like him, means then you have to see, like him, in him what are the things which are there that Srila Prabhupada appreciates, apart from the big weight and the size of the body. So if one thinks, well, I should become like him, then you start eating all the Mahaprasad. So this is a very good example, how one can take Hetva Bhasha and stretch it to an extent so that nobody else gets Mahaprasad in the temple. Anyway, so Kannada, he says that you may hear a shabda, but you infer a meaning. The meaning that you infer, or meaning you come to, is only an inference. So he says that shabda is also inference. That is his idea of seeing it. Anyway, then we will come later, we will discuss how it is right or wrong. Also, another praman they include in their anuman or inference is mystic induction that comes from the heart of someone. Actually, in the Vedas, this is the revelation that comes from the heart. But as far as Kannada is concerned, he only sees up to the atom. That we explained yesterday, that every philosophy is simply then where everything is coming from. Atato Brahma Jigyasa means now you inquire into Brahman. Now how do you inquire into Brahman? Janma Adhyasya Yatha, from where everything comes. So Nyaya concluded that everything is coming from atoms. But they also concluded the way to understand it is logic. Now Vaisheshika is establishing the same theory. Everything is coming from atom. And the process is to understand the different distinctive subject matter or object of knowledge which are there in the material world. This is Vaisheshika. Vishesha means distinction. So the two kinds of knowledge, praman they accept, pratyaksha and anuman. In pratyaksha they include perception and remembrance. And anuman they include inference and mystic induction. There is no such thing called mystic induction. It is actually the ultimate thing is Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Mukhyanti. Hridaya Adikavaye. In the heart, Sri Krishna reveals transcendental knowledge. And if you only look atom as the source, you think it is something mystic coming from somewhere. But if you see that atom is coming from Mahat, and Mahat is coming from Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu is coming from Sankarsana, and if you go back like this, they all come from Balaram, and Balaram comes from Sri Krishna, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma Sudurlava, then there will be no problem. There is no induction necessary. Automatically from the heart, Krishna will give you knowledge. Dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayanti te. Krishna says, for those who worship me in devotion, I give them the intelligence. Nothing mystic. Srila Prabhupada said, mystic means mystic. Mystic means mystic. There is no mystic thing. Everything is clear. Krishna is as clear as the sun. Krishna Surya Saman. Maya hoy andakar. So what is so mystic about it? So Mukhyanti Yat Suraya, it is mentioned that even the great controllers, they get confused. So Kannada, he gets confused. The reason is, he thinks that Janma Adhyasya Yatha is atom. Everything comes from atom. This is their philosophy. Now also they have two kinds of confusion they accept. Like two kinds of knowledge they accept two kinds of confusion. Brahma. What are these? These are misconception, which is coming from doubt. This is one kind. You have samsaya, you have some sandeha, you have some doubt, and due to doubt, you misconceive something. The other thing is indefinite inference. Inference they accept as a praman, as an evidence. But indefinite inference they don't accept. Just like we say, that is speculation. But actually, the word speculation is one of the authorized form or system of attaining knowledge in the Veda. Pratyaksha, Anuman and Shabda. And Anuman means speculation. But if a speculation confirms Shabda, confirms the word which is from the Veda, it is no mental speculation. It is known as Anuman. But if a speculation says that my grandfather was a black monkey, and then there is problem. Now, my grandfather was not a monkey. Maybe Darwin's grandfather was. That we can see from his face. I see in these magazines, his diagram. He looks like orangutan's grandson. So that is his problem. But my grandfather was a human being. I know. I have seen him. He doesn't have a tail. So this type of inference, which does not confirm Shabda, it is simply mental speculation. So in the Vaisheshika philosophy also, they reject this type of indefinite inference. They say, no, this is bogus. It is not accepted. And also, they reject dreams in Vaisheshika philosophy. Just imagine, some mental speculators, they reject dreams. But there are so-called Vaishnavas who are expecting for a self-effulgent acharya to come in a dream. This is going on in this world. The mental speculators don't accept it as authority. The speculators don't accept it. And we with Urdhva Pundra on our head, we say, oh yeah, I'm going to get a dream. And from the dream I will find out who is acharya. So this is going on. So the best thing is you should sell mustard oil all over the world. If you put mustard oil on your head and you stand upside down, then the brain will work. Then you won't depend on dream. Sadhu Shastra Acharya is the evidence, not Sadhu Shastra Acharya Swapna. It is not mentioned anywhere. Anyway, don't mind. But this is all going on around us, so it's really disturbing. So two kinds of confusions are there. And then, Kannada decides all knowledge is simply Padartha. Padartha means meaning of the word. He says there is no knowledge beyond the meaning of the words. That is ultimate. Everything that is known by the meaning of what you say or what you write. You say Krishna. This is a word. This word has a meaning. So ultimately, everything is this meaning of the word, and nothing else. This is his philosophy. So pada means word, artha is meaning, and there are 7 padarthas in the Vaisheshika philosophy. Here we find 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, and this is 6. What happened to the 7? This is called mental speculation. Dravya, guna. Let me check this. Karma, samanya, vishesha, samavaya. Right. These are positive padarthas, and this is negative padartha. So I just explain each one, and they have subdivisions in them, and they are not so much to discuss in a general understanding of the philosophy, but they are there for those who want to go deep. As I mentioned, later we can have some personal discussion. So dravya means substance, and guna is the second one. This means quality, and karma means action. Now this karma is not the karma that we usually talk about. My karma, Prabhu, that I got third world accommodation or something. This karma is different. And this is simply movement, external movement of things, like I move my hand or I move the stick. This is known as also karma. Karma means activity or kriya. So samanya, here, this means general, you can say general qualities, samanya. And vishesha means special qualities. And samavaya, this means combination between padas, between different subjects. And abhava means lacking, or something which is lacking. Abhav means something is lacking. or non-existence. We see many things in this world, they all exist. We also see that some things don't exist. So you can decide the whole thing as existence and non-existence. These are only two classifications. And in existence, you just have this subject matter. Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha and Samavaya. And then in non-existence, you have Abhava. And non-existent, there are classifications of non-existence. And in karma, action, there are also different classifications. And in generality, or the general quality of things, there are also Samanya. There you find these three classifications. And Vishesha means something special. So we'll leave the Padarthas there, and I will quickly explain the philosophy, and then when we are left with time, then we can go on speculate. Philosophy. The philosophy of Vaisheshikas. I do not know whether they have a philosophy. Anyway, they say they have one. So this is what they say as their philosophy. The soul. The soul is one of the 9 dravyas. You see the substances. You see here, there are 9 classifications under dravya. I can just quickly go through them just to understand the philosophy, because this is earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and time, direction, soul, and mind. These are the 9 substances that Kannada finally delineated. These are the 9 dravyas in this world. And these dravyas have got some quality, guna, and because of the quality, these substances, they make some movement, that is karma, and while they make that movement, you find some common qualities in them, that's known as samanya, and sometimes you find some special quality, that is vishesha, and then sometimes you also find that there is some combination of these dravyas, that is known as samavaya, and sometimes you do find that something becomes non-existent in a particular fashion, that's known as abhava. So, one of the 9 dravyas or substances is jiva, or soul. And then it says, beyond sense, they describes the soul. You have it here, Atma, that is soul. And the description of Atma is beyond the sense perception. It can only be known by inference. Inference here includes, in Kannada's philosophy, scriptures too. Because when you read scripture, then you infer. I'm just repeating them again and again because some may not catch, that's why. So, whenever in Kannada's philosophy we say inference, it includes scripture. So he says that the soul cannot be seen by senses, but it can be inferred. In inferring, the one process is to read the book. The book says that soul is like this. Then you infer, yeah, soul is like that. That is his idea of soul. And then it is not matter. And there are individual souls. It is not that there is only one soul. There are individual souls. And the soul, individual soul, is different from God. You can see, it sounds very saintly. Everything is correct. Nothing wrong in it. The souls are individuals. And there, yes? And there is also God. And God is not individual soul. He has no confusion at all about those things. Alright, let's go further and see. Then the soul gets caught in the cycles of ignorance because of God, who is Adrishta. Now he said that God is different from soul. Now who is this God? God is Adrishta. Drishta means seen. And Adrishta means unseen. Adrishta. What is this Adrishta? When you perform activity, then it all goes to a bank somewhere. And that bank's agent is known as Adrishta. He puts debit in your account. And then when you come as another body in another life, then he gives credit. And at the end of the life, he puts a debit balance or a credit balance. So, Adrishta is nothing but a chief accountant of this material existence. I hope he is not a South Indian. So this is, anyway, he's Adrishta, so you cannot see him, so you don't know. Maybe he is. So this is Adrishta God. And Adrishta, what he does, which endows the soul with certain tendencies. And because of these tendencies the soul has, then the soul gets bound. So Adrishta is there, and soul is there, and because the soul develops, some kind of misconception. So immediately the Adrishta gives him some kind of powers, some kind of capacities, and then the soul gets bound. Actually, it is not wrong. The soul develops a misconception. What is that misconception? Krishna bahirmukha hoy bahuvancha kori. He forgets Krishna. This is his misconception. And then what kind of power that God gives him? Yes, bahuvancha kori, gives him unlimited desires. And due to this unlimited desires, he gets caught by the material nature. He gets bound. So he's not telling anything wrong. Only problem is, he is seeing only up to the atom. That's all. So then, the body is lasting for a life and gives place to another body. This body lasts for a life and then moves and gives the place and another body comes. This way the soul continues from body to body. That is true. Because yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tadakchante kalevaram. At the time of leaving the body, whatever consciousness we have, then this body goes, another body comes. Dhirastatrana mukhyati, Krishna says. So finally, till liberation, the soul goes on, taking one body after another body, after another body, after another body. And during this body, he has varna, he has ashrama, everything is accepted. That is Brahman, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra, there is sannyas, there is grihastha, there is everything is accepted. But the source, there is a little misconception. Now what is world? Ultimate cause for this world is atom. Atom is the ultimate cause. Paramanu, of which all things are formed. These are conceived only by mind. These atoms cannot be seen because they are very, very small. Now we have to understand that the materialistic scientist atom theory, or their atom, is much, much bigger, gigantic compared to this atom that Kannada is meditating on. If you put this atom and the scientist atom, then that scientist atom is as big as this Gurukul project compared to this. Because Kannada's atom is much minute. You can imagine, whole day he just meditates on atom for his whole life. And in the night he goes for begging. Because in the night actually no one gives him any food. So sometimes he just comes back starving. So with all this austerity, he just meditates. He uses his consciousness as a laboratory with no test tubes and spirit lamps. But he simply uses his mind to go deep into the atom. And finally he finds this paramanu, means atom of the atom. And how that works, that he has found out. So these are conceived by mind. The minutest particle conceivable. And there are 4 kinds of such atoms. What are those 4 kinds? There is earth atom, there is water atom, fire atom, and there is air atom. He doesn't accept ether as one of the elements. He accepts ether here as a substance. But he doesn't accept ether as a source of the other elements. This way he is different from the other philosophers. And of course, completely different from the Vedanta Sutra. He may be very close to the modern scientist, because he accepts only 4. Earth, water, fire, air. He doesn't accept ether as some separate element. And they combine, these atoms combine to form a particular similar type of substance. There are 2 atoms combined, dvayanu, and there is 3 atoms combined, there is no a trayanu, and this trayanu is a unit. And this triple atom, triple paramanu, then another triple paramanu, they combine together. And then they produce a substance. In this way, this whole earthly planet, moon planet, sun planet, the whole creation comes from there. And these atoms are eternal. They cannot be destroyed. And Kannada Sutra, just like everybody covers the subject of creation, all the philosophers, so Kannada Sutra covers the creation between, the time between secondary creation and secondary dissolution. Since his whole existing period is between secondary creation and secondary dissolution, it is normal for him to think that atom is the source of everything. If he would think what is beyond Brahma, how Brahma starts creation, or if he starts thinking what is before universe, then naturally he would try to understand Krishna. Since his period of or his view of his lens is only going between secondary creation and secondary dissolution, naturally, when he burns his consciousness to find out the source, he comes out with the idea that atom is the source of everything. But I just like explained in Brahma Samhita, Andantarastha, Paramanu, Chaya Antarastam, Paramanu Chaya Antarastam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And inside that Paramanu is a four-handed form of the Lord, the super soul of the Paramanu. He has got conch, club, discus and lotus. He has got a Vaijayanti Mala, and there are bumblebees on his Vaijayanti Mala inside this atom. This is God. God is not just, some old man hanging under cloud, looking for his only son. This is not God. Don't mind, I say this again and again, because I'm very upset with these people. That's what I'm saying. Why depict God as some, infidel, useless personality like that, whose shirts are so loose? Why his shirt is so loose? This is my big philosophical question. Why couldn't he find a proper tailor? Why is he hanging like this on the clouds? This is not God. And then they have this big idea that, then they go to the church and they say all that. Then they go to the laboratory and say that Big Bang is God. So where is the sincerity? It is just another big mental speculation. So the God is so cute that he is inside the Paramanu with four hands. And he has flower garland, he has got gold colored cloth he is wearing, he has got waist belt, he has Srivatsa, he has Kaustuba. And they say, boo, he's old man. So how can you accept this? This is why that one should not try to understand God by his small brain. He should simply accept the disciplic succession. Otherwise, then you can go on speculating like this. This is very childish, to depict God as order supplier or sandwich maker. Oh my God, please give me my sandwich every day. So this is not religion, neither philosophy. So by Lord's will, everything is done. That is the philosophy of Kannada. And what is his Lord? His Lord is Adrishta, unfortunately. Anyway, he understands that by Krishna's will everything is coming. But unfortunately, he's not seeing Krishna. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto. Because he is trying to see God through Vedas, so it is very difficult for him to see. Because Krishna doesn't reveal. If one wants to know Krishna by the Vedas, it is not possible. And the proof is these six philosophies. They try to see God through Vedas, but they fail. Why? Veda is like a flashlight, and Krishna is like sun. If you want to see the sun with a flashlight, then it's a useless endeavor. Sun doesn't need any flashlight anyway. Krishna reveals himself. Sevan mukhe jishvadau swayameva spuratyata. Krishna can tell you, here I am. My address is Golok Vrindavan. My telephone number is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you don't get a cross connection with Rajanish, then you will get Krishna on the line. There's no problem. He will say, hello, I am here. But if you get Bhagavan on the line, either Bhagavan from the west, Rajanish, or Bhagavan from Puttaparthi, some big Croton's hair, Sai Baba, then you are finished. Otherwise you are all right. So, Adrishta is the God principle in Kannada's philosophy. Now these six systems of philosophy, they are godless anyway. We are not against them, but they are godless, because they don't want to accept God. They take some other subsidiary element as God. He wants to take Adrishta as God. So we have no problem. He can have that God. And then he said that God introduced the world as a necessity. He found it was necessary for certain souls. That is true. Because some souls forget him. And they have to go and be Lord. They want to play the flute. So he gives you the 84 lakhs of holes in one flute. You can play. And you keep playing. Never music comes out. Only apaswara comes out. So this is how Krishna does this world. So Kannada is right in that sense, that he is seeing that it's out of necessity that God has created this world. But then that God is not some kind of stuff, adrishta, but that God has got a beautiful peacock feather on his head. And then if you look down, he's got the most beautiful hair coming down from there. And then he has the Srivatsa. And this is beautiful personality God, who has sentiments, desires, emotion. He likes, he dislikes. This is God. He is not void. He is not impersonal. And he is not some light. He is not some darkness. He is as much as a person, like you are a person, your father is a person, his father is a person, his father was also a person. So why do you think the original person will be impersonal? How is that possible? If I think my father is impersonal, then what property I can get from it? Alright, you can think your father is impersonal, but no taka will come. No money you will get. You should understand my father is a person. If you want to sign check after he dies. The problem is God never dies. Without dying, he keeps you in very good property. You can have all that. This whole world is his property. He has given it to us. So liberation is by understanding the nature of categories. His idea is that if you understand dravya, guna, karma, samanya, vishesha, samavaya and abhava, then the soul knows things properly. As soon as the soul knows things properly, gets out of the material existence. He's free. He's liberated. Why? Because no more adrishta. Adrishta gets exhausted. Your account in the bank of adrishta, and just imagine a bank of adrishta is there, unlimited, and then you put your account, and then finally it gets exhausted, so no more account, so passbook is closed, and they say, alright, chutti, liberation for you. So the soul is liberated. In other words, escape from pain, escape from the pains of this material existence is liberation. This is their prayojana. Their sambandha is understanding these items very nicely by studying the knowledge. And their sambandha is that we are soul, we are not matter, atom is the source, adrishta is the cause of all problems. So this is in substance what Vaiseshika is. And to go through these padarthas and gunas, it's a little cumbersome job. And of course you can't do it within 1 hour. So what I have planned is at least the systems of argument. Yesterday, our Maharaj, he just gave a very nice suggestion. So I am preparing for that. When these yoga and Sankhya, the future philosophies are coming up now, and there is a lot of yoga in our books, and most of you are very familiar with yoga. And most of you are also very familiar with Sankhya. And Nyaya Vaiseshika, of course, it's not so much directly explained in our book. So we are thinking that maybe we don't have it in our book. So I had to give this explanation. But Sankhya and Yoga, they are well known. And Purva Mimamsa, of course, we only know it is Karma Khanda, most of us. So I will give a good explanation on Purva Mimamsa Sutras. And then we will also go through the Uttara Mimamsa, which is improper, which is Mayavadis, led by Ashtavakra, etc. We will discuss that. So in Sankhya and Yoga, I will put some time where we can study now how to use, practically put into use, some of these techniques of logic from Nyaya. Of course, Vaiseshika is only padarthas, and these things we study very nicely in our philosophy. So with nothing to use from Vaiseshika, but there is so much to use from Nyaya. That is true. So we will go through some examples from Bhagavad Gita. We will make a statement, spirit soul is there, and then we will argue according to Nyaya. So then we can have some fun. And then after that we will go through Sankhya and Yoga. Yoga is Patanjali, Sankhya is impostor Kapila, and after discussing that, then we will go to Karma Mimamsa by Jaimini, who is the most tough to defeat. Vyasadeva already made him weaponless. He surrendered. So then we will discuss finally the cream, the fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki? Jai. If anyone has an immediate, instant question on Vaiseshika. Yes.
How is God and the soul come from the essence?
According to this philosophy, God or Adrishta is a byproduct of soul and atom. Atoms are eternal. They are the source. And atoms combine and they make the world. And there is this God whom he doesn't explain where he is, what does he do, what is his address, how does he look like, no explanation. This God wills to put the soul, to give the soul some material capacity. Now from that point backwards, he gives no explanation. He is lacking there. He doesn't explain. And then the soul comes into contact with these atoms, created world, and then by acting with the atoms, it creates some activity, karma, and that karma's reaction becomes adrishta. And the adrishta takes over now, and then keeps the soul going from one body to another body. This is his philosophy. Of course, somebody may say, well, this is far out. I don't understand what it is. I also don't understand. So, I cannot make you understand something that I don't understand. That's what he says. That's his philosophy, if it is the philosophy. Any other questions?
One question.
Yes?
What is the state of liberation that they talk about?
State of liberation is when the soul gets out of this adrishta, when adrishta exhausts our account, and the soul is not anymore under the control of adrishta, and he is no more under matter, he becomes a separate entity, and finally it just enters into the atom when it is released. But this entering into the atom is deferred by many different commentators, because his sutra is a little dubious there. He says it gets released from the matter, and it says it attains its original position. And he says everything originally is atom. So the commentators conclude that original position means the soul finally enters into the atom. But there are other commentators who say no, because Kannada did not say that soul's original position is atom. So its soul just remains soul. But then the questions remain, then what does it do? What is happening to it? There is no answer. That is why the next class, Sankhya, they try to answer this. They have the same materialistic philosophy, but they give an answer what happens to the soul. Of course, that is for tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Radhika Acharya Sri Srimad Abhijana